My name is Rabi, and I am back with part two of NCA versus LLMCL, this time with a more serious look. In the first video, please make sure you check part one, otherwise, this one won't really make sense. But in the first video, I compared LLMCL programs with NCA exams on the basis of five criteria, that is the cost, location, exam pattern, difficulty, and timeline to apply for each of the programs. In this video, we are going to discuss the duration of each program and then where to find NCA sample exams. And then I'm going to briefly discuss LLMs with a specialization. So let's start with the duration of the process. So the duration for NCA is they give you 5 years to finish the process. Before that, I want to mention that they take 6 to 8 weeks in assessing your application, but they do not assess your application until they have all the documentation. So the sooner you arrange for all the documentation to be sent to them, the better for you. And so the basic assessment takes 6 to 8 weeks, and then you have 5 years from the date of your assessment. So let's say you got your assessment saying that you have to do five mandatory courses or six courses or whatever your case is, and you get your assessment in January 2020. You have to finish all your NCA exams by January 2025. So you have total 5 years, but it doesn't really take that long. It really depends on what your personal circumstances are, if you're taking any breaks in between the process. But I checked their website, and they say that the best case scenario is people finish this process in 10 months, the NCA exams, and otherwise, on an average it takes people 2 years. So hopefully you will finish the whole process within 2 years. When I'm saying the process, I'm talking about the NCA exams. If you are The timeline for common law is obviously shorter because you're attending school for 1 year and you're taking all your NCA courses as part of your LLM. So the moment you finish your LLM, you finish your NCAs. Also, if you take it really depends on what schedules the university has for each course. But if you can finish all your courses, let's say in the fall and winter term, and you're done with it at the beginning of your program, you can arrange for that letter to be sent to NCA saying that you're done with your NCA. So you may be able to get your NCA certificate of qualification before finishing your Master of Law. I just recently heard someone did that. So I know that that is possible. And so, yeah, the duration for that is 1 year. And then we have a very interesting thing, NCA sample exams. So I am going to post a link in the description box, and it's just basically a link to NCA's website where they have all the sample papers for previous examinations. So you may want to check that just to get an idea of what to expect in an NCA exam. And then when I talked about the duration for LLM programs, I think it's worth mentioning here. I am going to do a separate video on study visas and PR, but I think it's worth mentioning here that the only downside of LLMCL, which I think as a foreign trained law, as an international student, was the duration. So you get 1 year for your master's, and then you're technically eligible only for 1 year of work permit. And I think it's too tight of a timeline to fit everything together in that 1 year. So you finish your program, and then after that you get 1 year to find articling, finish your bar exams if you're in Ontario, and then finish that process and get 1 year of work experience and then apply for PR. So it's too tight of a timeline, and it becomes very stressful. Obviously it's doable. I know people, I have friends who found articling immediately after their program, and then they were able to fit everything in that timeline. But I know that I did not. I had to wait for a few months to find articling, and I was under so much pressure, and it was so stressful. So I would recommend that if you have enough points, and I can actually post a link for comprehensive ranking system tool in the description box as well. So see if you have enough points. I would say that when you're applying for NCA and you're waiting for your assessment and you're going through all of that process, when you're preparing to come to Canada, it's better to try and apply for PR under the express entry program, because there are two benefits of PR. One, you do not have that pressure that you won't be able to finish everything in time, and you might have to leave the country before you are done with the process. And secondly, it kind of cuts down your fees to half, almost half. So there's a huge difference in fees for international students and if you are a PR holder. So you might want to consider that. Lastly, I want to talk about an alternate option, an alternate approach. Over the years, I have seen people taking so many, like being so creative about this whole process that, when I think of it now, I'm like, okay, why I did not think of it? Or honestly, I was so kind of naive and so amateur about this whole process when I came here. But I have seen people taking all kind of pathways to reach their destination, that is becoming a lawyer in Canada. But I think LLMs with specialization are also a good option. I loved my LLMCL program at UBC and I have no complaints there, but it's just now, 3 years in this process, I feel like I do lack some kind of specialization. So, if I would have come here with a master's program with a specialization and then took my NCA exams on the side, I think I would have been better off finding an articling in the area of my interest. So what I'm trying to say here is there's a third option that you can do is you can take admission in a master's program with a specialization. So let's say you're interested in criminal law or international law. You come here, you take admission in a course-based or thesis-based program with a specialization in these fields, and then there are so many good universities. I only named 4 here because LLM common law program is offered by a very limited number of universities, but there are so many very good universities in Ontario and all over Canada that you can apply to and check out their LLM programs with specialization. So what happens is, if you're taking your NCA exams on the side, I know this might be too much to juggle with, but the benefit of that is by the time you finish your program, you have a Canadian education with a specialization and you're done with your NCA program courses, so NCA exams. So when you're looking for articling, I think you're better off in a situation where you can tell an employer that, hey, I went to a Canadian law school, I have specialization in this area and I'm really interested in this area, and I'm also done with my NCA courses. So I think it's going to help you find articling, but that's just my personal opinion, and I just think that's something worth looking into. So another benefit of LLMs with specialization, or especially thesis-based programs, is they are usually longer than 1 year. So which means usually they're 16 months or more. So if you study in Canada for 16 months or more, you get a work permit. You're eligible for a work permit from 2 to 3 years. So even if you're coming here for a master's degree on a study permit and you don't have the PR, you have, if you're going through a master's, thesis-based master's, you get a longer work permit, which gives you more time to find articling, finish your NCA exams. And it's just, I think it's a very safe approach. So I just thought it's worth mentioning here. And I just realized that, in my previous videos, there's some kind of disturbance, which is just somebody cutting grass. That's, I love Ontario summers, but this one thing makes me so annoyed about Ontario summers. It says someone always cutting grass, which is, I mean, it's natural and it has to be done. But I really don't like it because, when I'm studying, there's someone cutting the grass. When I'm making videos, somebody's cutting the grass. When I'm taking webinars, somebody's cutting the grass. So, but sorry. What I was saying was, I think I have covered everything here I wanted to talk about. But in case you guys have any questions, please feel free to either comment on this video or send me text on my LinkedIn account. And then I am actually planning to do a separate video on question and answers, where I will be discussing some of the most common questions I get. So if you want your questions to be included in that video, or if you want me to answer your questions there, because that might help other people also. So please, send me your questions, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. And that's it for this whole topic, guys. I hope this will help you decide whether you want to go through the NCA process, taking individual NCA exams, or whether you want to go to a Canadian law school. Personally, I am a little biased here because I did a master's here, and I think my program really helped me, because when you study here you get that buffer period to understand the legal system, understand the culture, get to know how the job market works, how your applications should look like. I mean, your career services service people at your university really help you, because when I came here, my resume was 4 pages long, and that is totally not acceptable here. So it's just, I think it's a very good time to get to know the whole system and how things work here and adjust here before you kind of actually get into the job market. So I would recommend Master of Law programs here, and I would recommend coming here and studying at least for 1 year. But it's, to each their own, right? So whatever works for you. But I hope this was helpful, guys, and I will see you soon with a next video. I haven't really decided what I want to do next, but what I want to talk about next, but it's going to be related to this whole process. So hopefully see you soon, and take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Take care. Bye.